Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing your daily Walking Dead Q&A video for today. In this one, I'm going to give my thoughts first on a possible romantic relationship between Cyndie and Tara, as well as do I think the Oceanside will help during all-out war. And spoiler warning if you're not caught up for the Walking Dead television series. So yeah, man, want to thank you guys for continuing to send through the daily Q&A questions. Going to continue right on through. Been doing lots of videos lately. If you missed, on Christmas we did the timeline video. I think most of you guys have seen it by now, but if you haven't, it's over 30 minutes. It's a nice recap of the series. It looks like most of you guys liked it, so thanks for your support, guys. And if you haven't seen it yet, check it out. It's in the channel, the timeline video. Top 10 best episodes of The Walking Dead so far. Did that video yesterday, so that's also in the channel if you guys are interested in checking that out. As well as we're getting into some predictions now for the second half of The Walking Dead Season 7. Got a couple of prediction videos posted there for you. So if you missed any of them over the break, check it out if you have time, maybe around New Year's if you get a day or two off or whatever the case may be. So this one came from Dennis Whelan, and he says, "Hey Trev, do you think that Cyndie from the Oceanside is gay? I mean, did she seem to have a shine to Tara by trying to keep her safe and stuff? And if you do believe she's gay, do you think we will ever see her and Tara in a relationship, or do you think that Tara is too old for her?" So this is a great question, and then we'll tack onto that whether or not we think the Oceanside is actually going to join in all that war, since we're starting to see the groups come together now. And in episode 9, we know we're going to see Rick meet with Ezekiel and the others and discuss fighting back against the Saviors. So she's listed on the wiki as 18 years old. Which is kind of crazy. I don't think the actress is 18, is she? She looks older than that to me. Maybe it's the way she's dressed and stuff. But how old is Tara supposed to be in the zombie apocalypse? We got to compare ages. But, it's a zombie apocalypse. And as far as, if you're gay or lesbian, even naturally, actually, even if you're, heterosexual, there's still not that many options out there. There's not many people in the zombie apocalypse, you don't have that many survivors. So it's not like real life where you have lots of choices. You kind of have to take what you can get. So if two people are, kind of far apart in age like that, then it would probably make even more sense than in regular life. Nothing wrong with people getting together if they're, a ways away from each other in terms of age. So I think you're onto something here, Dennis. I think you're right. Like, if you look at the way Cyndie, helps Tara, and she violates protocol a few times helping her, it looks to me like she has taken a fancy to her. She's taken a liking to her. Now, whether or not that's just a friendship, I feel sorry for you liking, or whether or not she knows that she's... Because how could they know? How could she know, right? Like, it's kind of tricky. There's lots of people like... there's one guy on YouTube, Scooby. Yeah, so he's gay, right? And I was like, what? So, you guys know this? He's an awesome guy, though. It's not a knock against him or anything. But he does weightlifting videos and stuff. I watched him for years. And then one day he did a video saying he was gay. I was like, what? He's huge. He's gay too. I was like, okay. I guess you can't tell. So you can't know sometimes, right? So it's impossible to tell sometimes. I mean, so we don't know right now if Cyndie is or not. But I would say she's either going to become a close friend of Tara based on the setup and swear, or she's going to become a romantic partner. I think one or the other. At least based on the setup. And whether or not the Oceanside is going to help in the war, I mean, if you look at the placement of Swear, it being episode 6 of the first half of The Walking Dead Season 7, that episode, I mean, is like perfect placement considering that we get 7 and 8, and then as we're getting into 9, we start to see them joining up with groups. Also, if you look at the Oceanside and their story, that Negan basically did the gun to the back of the head thing, or some of the Saviors did. Not sure if it was Negan or if it was Simon or somebody else calling the shots there. But it sounds like the men in the Oceanside's group would not kneel to Negan, would not surrender, so they blew them all away. They killed them all, right? So that's the way the story goes. Now, don't you think that they would want to get revenge against Negan and revenge against the Saviors for that? You would think so. You would think they would. So, we'll see what happens in episodes 9 and 10 and 11, but I think it would make perfect sense if Tara told Rick, like, hey, I found this group, it's called the Oceanside, they were under the Saviors too, and the Saviors killed all their men, it's all women now, I promised I wouldn't say anything, but since we're fighting back, they may want to join, and they got a lot of firearms, a lot of weaponry, and, you could see a lot of groups start to join together here. You'd have Oceanside, Alexandria, Hilltop, and the Kingdom, and we would have even more, people than we would in the Walking Dead comic book series. And it should be crazy. So I think they actually will join with them, and I think we will see the Oceanside join up in this second half, and eventually start to see all the women from there fight back against Negan. And if we base it on Swear and on what we saw in that episode, it looks like we could see some kind of relationship or friendship between Cyndie and Tara. We'll have to see how it goes. But I hope they do bring the Oceanside back in this half, because if they do, it means that Swear is kind of a better episode than a lot of people felt like it was. A lot of people probably hated that episode because the ramifications of it, Tara gets back and everything, and if we don't see Oceanside come back and join and be a big part of the war, or at least be involved with it, then it's kind of like that episode is just pure filler. But if they do come back in and they're used well, then it's not like that episode is just useless. The episode means more, and it has more to it than it would otherwise if they actually are helpful, which they damn well look like they could be based on their firearms and the amount of women they have that could probably fight and could probably shoot. Very cool. So I'm saying yes to both pretty much, Dennis. And if you guys didn't know, Here's Negan has been extended to 16 episodes. It was on undeadwalking.com. It's in the letter hacks, so that's pretty cool. So just to get some thoughts out there for me, really excited to hear that Here's Negan is going to be extended to 16 issues. That's going to be awesome. Each one is quick. To be honest, I'd like to see them expand it to getting to see maybe a spin-off comic of Negan's whole backstory in the zombie apocalypse. I'd like to see it right from the beginning up until the time when Rick and the others meet him in issue 100. That'd be crazy. But we'll see how the rest of the Here's Negan series wraps up, and that's still quite a bit of chapters there. If you look at 16 issues of Image Plus, even though each one is kind of short, it's still quite a bit. So I'm happy to hear that, and I hope that they'll extend it even further, and I hope Kirkman will decide to do even more with Negan later, because he's such a fun character. AJ Unlimited says, hey Trev, quick question. Why do you think it took Negan this long to find Alexandria? So Negan and the Saviors. So that's a good question. He never stumbled upon it earlier, right? Until we've just seen it now. Well, the thing is the way that the Alexandrians were living, they were living like completely recluse. Like they were closed in, and they were not. They had a couple small, groups that would go on runs, but for the most part, they kept a pretty low profile in the zombie apocalypse. So they were able to survive all this time because they didn't get into it with almost anybody, and they didn't draw any attention to themselves. Once Rick and the others got near, they had survivors all over the place, running into the wolves and all these different things happening. You had Daryl, and he's going off on runs. You had the mega herd thing that was coming through. So they're lucky that Rick and the others got there, but to deal with the herd and everything. So it's a good thing. But they did pretty well just turtling up and just kind of hiding for that amount of time. So it can work. Father Gabriel did the same kind of deal, and just wait until everybody kills each other off, and then start to kind of venture out once you run out of supplies. So it's not a bad idea. Swagmaster 2000 says, hey Trev, my question is, what Negan moment are you most looking forward to in All Out War next season? Or second half of this season, depending on how much they get into it. Also, it's interesting how they're giving Eugene his comic story this early. They have kind of, just to explain, they've kind of sped up Eugene. He's already kind of getting into the bullet making and stuff. It does seem to be pretty quick. I have to agree with them there. In the comics, he gets captured a little later on, this kind of thing, and there's the story arc's different. So you're right. They do switch it around, and they kind of remix it as to it making sense. But if you look at it, the way the comic is so much different from the TV series. The TV series, you have your premieres, you have your finales. The finales have to be exciting, so sometimes they might have to bring in elements sooner from the comics to kind of make it exciting, to make it make sense, right? And that's what they did with Rosita the Bullet and Eugene in this in the first half. So it's just a different format, and sometimes they have to bring things in a little bit differently in the TV series than they do with the comics, for sure. But the moment I'm most looking forward to from Negan, I'll probably do like a top 5 most anticipated moments or something for the second half based on the comic book series. But definitely the we're going to war speech, the big swinging dick speech, which some people are like, what? My last video when I when I reenacted it on the back porch, some people are like, Trev, what do your neighbors think? Well, they think I'm crazy, obviously, as most of you guys do. I guess I might be a little crazy, which is fine. It keeps things fun. It keeps things interesting, at least, to be a little nutty. But yeah, I'm most looking forward to the swinging dick speech. That should be hilarious and awesome. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to see some of the moments, maybe when Rick and Negan get at it and they get into a fist fight. We haven't really seen. Have we seen them get into a straight up fist fight yet? Not really. Not yet. So that'll be exciting to see. And there's lots of other stuff too. But I'll probably do like a top 5 for you there, Swigmaster. So keep your head up and check for that. And I'll try to get that done within the next couple weeks for you, brother. Kuhn 189 says, "Hey Trev, what do you think is the biggest herd in The Walking Dead?" So it depends if you're talking TV series or comics, Kuhn. In terms of the TV series, there's a couple huge herds that, and when we say herds, like, massive amounts, hordes of zombies, depending on however you want to say it. Huge, massive amounts of zombies, zombie armies, whatever the case may be. The biggest one we've ever seen, I think, would have to be the quarry. So the herd that comes out of the quarry, the original one, not the one that breaks off and goes to Alexandria, but the entirety of that herd. I suppose that's supposed to be like 33,000 or something, I think Greg Nicotero said in the DVD or Blu-ray. So that's a lot of zombies, and that's probably the most we've ever seen. But also there's a couple other huge sections of zombies that we've had in the show. Season 4, when Daryl and the others are going on the run from the prison, and they get into it and they start spinning their tires on zombie guts and everything. When you look ahead, you see a lot of zombies too. So that was also really exciting, and I'm not sure how many that would be. I'd have to watch the DVD or Blu-ray and see if they could quote how many. But I believe the quarry is the biggest herd ever, season 6, which also makes it the best season ever, at least for me. But some of the ones earlier have been pretty cool too. The season 2 finale one was nice, where they had the helicopter go over and they showed kind of the montage or the progression in terms of time as they see it and it gets signaled and then they all start moving and then the rest join. That was slick in the season 2 finale beside the dying fire. Just the way they showed that was really impressive. And so there's been lots of pretty awesome ones. But if I had to pick, my favorite one is the season 6 one. That was just absolutely wicked awesome, like just insanely amazing awesome. So yeah, that's it. So that'll be it for today's video, guys. If you liked it, please thumb it up below. Keep sending me your questions for the Q&As. And any top 5s, top 10s you want to see, send through those as well in private message. Thank you guys as well for the Patreon support. So everybody who supported the Patreon account, I'll put the link in the description if you guys want to tip $1 or whatever. But just thank you guys very much for all those of you who did during the holidays. That was wicked cool. So for this video, guys, we'll see you again for the next one. As always, it's Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See you soon.
You better subscribe.